Hello? I'm saying hello like I'm waiting for somebody to pick up the telephone. Pick up this telephone. Why I call you? I say hello, baby. Trying to get to you, man. Wanna get where you are. So, okay. Idea. Let me see if I could get up to the mic a little bit. Turn this thing up. Can you hear me good? Oh, you like that bass, huh? Who doesn't, right? But yeah, I was thinking about this, like, time on and off again, about nowadays, you know, is good advice to tell guys out here that are listening. Don't be paying for no cell phone bill for a female. And the reason why I say that, because some people might say some shit like, well, what if it's your daughter? Fuck no. You shouldn't be even paying for a cell phone for your daughter if you have one, or a teenage or adolescent girl in your care, unless maybe it's for one of those old, what they call tracky phones, like, you know, that all it can do is receive calls and makes text messages, but it don't have smartphone features. Like, it's not an Android, it's not an iPhone. It just receive text messages, sends text messages, and make phone calls, receive phone calls, and most importantly, can dial 911 if there's somewhere where they need to call the police. And if it's someone that's under 18 and they can't find their way home, or they need somebody to come pick them up, or they're lost, and they can dial 911, that's good, because even if the parents got to come pick them up, the police can get the number from them. Once they arrive, they can get the information to contact the parent's cell phone or house phone, and they can contact them themselves on the spot and ask them to come pick them up. So you can actually have a teenager, adolescent, or school age child with a phone that only calls 911. They'll survive, okay? Back when we were kids, you know, we had pay phones and police call boxes, and we made it just fine, okay? They can survive without a phone that they can call anybody they want, to text anybody they want. It just calls 911. And what I found is a good idea is, even if they already have a smartphone that someone else is paying for and they happen to already have, to just give them that in case the battery goes dead or whatever, that or something else is wrong with the phone, that they'll at least be able to call the cops if there's some kind of trouble or lost or whatever. But if you wanted to at least get them like one of those trackies that only text, talk, and stuff like that, but no internet features, no smartphone apps, none of that. It can't do none of that because it's not capable. That's the best kind to get them. And I would say, if it's a grown woman, if you really, really say, well, you know, I really care about her, like she's my girlfriend or whatever, or my kid's mother, you can get them that too. But as far as paying for any female, whether it's school age, adolescent, teenage girl either, or a grown woman's cell phone bill for a Android or you know, like an iPhone, any kind of smartphone that can go on the internet and download apps, you don't know what kind of fuckery they're doing. And trust me, they do. And if you think, if you have a daughter, or you have someone in your care, like a niece or something, and you think just because they're 11, 12, and 13 and 14, if you think these motherfuckers are innocent, the more innocent they behave, the more innocent I promise you that they're not. Talking from some experience too, you probably can hear it in my voice. They can't be trusted, period. Doesn't matter what age they are. They can't be trusted, period. Especially when it comes to cell phones. When I'm talking about trusted, period, like that they won't do really shady or fucked up shit on their phones using these apps and text messaging and messaging apps. And then they have a way that they can, even if you can unlock the phone, they can erase their tracks. It's not just like with browsers where they erase the history on a computer. They can do that in the phone too. And they can also lock the apps or delete the apps so that you can't see what they're doing. And then when they get the phone back from you that next morning, they'll put the app right back on there, and it'll re-download all of their message history and stuff. They're not innocent. And as a matter of fact, if it's someone that is like in a relationship with you, like anyone that's not you know, not in school, not your daughter, but they're in a relationship, a female that you're with, these smartphones have made it to where they can cheat on you and be laying right beside you in the bed. That's why I never believe any woman, especially a woman that is below 45, especially if she's in her 20s or 30s. I never believe her when she say, oh, I don't like texting. Bullshit. There's hardly a fucking young woman breathing, because texting allows them to do all kind of fucked up shit. And it hides their emotions and hides their true intentions. And if they're busy laying up with someone else while they're texting with you, if you're not in a relationship with them and you're texting them, getting to know them, they could be laying right next to their man and texting you, okay? So any of them say, well, I just want to talk on the phone, I don't like texting. Don't believe that fucking shit. So now, another reason why I wouldn't be paying for a female cell phone bill is because I've seen fucked up shit that some of them do. Like, you're paying the bill, but when they're outside and you go to call them, they don't want to answer the phone. And I've heard it all. I've heard it all. The excuses. I've heard it all. Oh, the phone be in my purse, so a lot of time I don't be hearing it. So why the fuck you carry your phone in your purse? You're supposed to be able to hear it. Your phone has one primary job. That is to make and receive calls. There's no excuse why it keep being in your purse and you can't hear it. I'd be like, dumb bitch, take the phone out your purse and put it somewhere on your person. Okay? Not just in your bag. Oh, my battery was dead. That's another excuse. What's another one? For some reason, the phone keeps putting itself on vibrate. If you're the only one that has the number, they're the one that's putting it on vibrate or turning the ringer off, or they're just lying. Another thing they do nowadays, these smartphones allow these bitches to lie to people even if they're paying the bill. They have different features that allow them to do so. One, you can go to a contact in your contact list and select on the three dots at the upper right of these Android phone. Go to the contact and select the three dots for the menu. You have different options. One of them is called, you can select the ringer for that person. So if they want to, they can select the silent ringer for you when you call, not to disturb them unless they're looking at the phone. The other one is called route to voicemail. Whereas only when you call, your number gets routed straight to voicemail if everybody else has come through just fine. You can leave a voicemail and they'll get it and they can call you back when they feel like it, even though you're paying the bill. I've seen it all. And I've been paying the bill for these bitches that have done this to me. So I know what I'm talking about. The other option is block the person when you block the number. This is what a lot of people don't know about when you block a number. They don't know this on an Android phone. These phone companies have went through a lot of things, a lot of trouble, to be able to allow people to lie to you about what happens on the other end of the call. I'm explaining to you. Now, I told you about differences. The first option is to change the ringer, to make it silent. The third option is to route it to voicemail so the phone never rings. But if you leave a voicemail, they get notified. So that's the second, The third option, and the most deceptive, is called block this number. And they will do it to you if you're paying the bill. It doesn't matter if it's someone you fucking, your wife or your fucking daughter. They will do it. Trust me. Okay? The third option, block, what it does in being deceptive is that if they put your contact in that shit, you call. When you call, you don't get no message telling you that you've been blocked. It just goes straight to voicemail with no rings. Now, this would have a person think that phone is turned off, like they turned the power off or the battery dead, or to have a person think that person have a bad signal or there's some malfunction with the phone. If every time you call, your call go to voicemail. Meanwhile, when they right in front of you and you call, the phone rings just fine. So you would think the lie that they tell you, oh, sometimes when I'm outside, I have a bad signal and I don't, nigga, please, no. When they're in front of you, and the young bitches do this too, your daughter, if you have one, will do it too. When they're in front of you, they turn the block off or they turn the route to voicemail function off. So everything looks cool if you test it when they're home. When they go outside, they turn one of those two options back on. Now back to this block shit. So you call, it goes straight to voicemail. And when it goes to voicemail, it goes with no rings. Now if it goes with half or a full ring, usually that means that the phone is turned off or something. But if it goes straight with no rings, they block you. So the worst thing is when you leave a voicemail under this being blocked, they never get notified. It's fake. The phone companies facilitate these bitches to do dirt. If they block you and you leave a voicemail thinking that the voicemail works because you got sent with no rings, when you hang up, they never get notified that you left a voicemail. Why? Because it pretends to record a voicemail. It never records and saves a damn thing. I've tested this. I've actually blocked myself from a particular couple of numbers to test this, to see what would happen. You know which carrier is really good for doing this? Cricket and AT&T and any of the companies that use their service. They use AT&T's calling service. Cricket and AT&T's, two of them. There's probably a couple of others. So they facilitate these bitches to lie. And they will do it to you if you're paying the bill. And I had said to more than one of them, I said, listen to me. Before I really found out what they were doing later, I said, why when I call, it just ring and ring or go straight to voicemail? And see, I can tell different things. Like with AT&T and Cricket and Sprint and Verizon, two of them, I know this, that usually if there's no rings, that means you've been blocked. If it's one ring before the voicemail, that means it went there by itself because their phone is turned off or have no signal. But if it's 2 or 3 rings before it goes to the voicemail, that means they're rejecting your call by hitting the reject button. If it's 5 rings before it goes to voicemail, that's an unanswered call, that they just sit there and didn't answer it, or they just wasn't around to hear the call. I know the difference between the number of rings and what someone is doing. So like, why would I know all this? Because when you're paying the bill and you good with phones like I am, you're supposed to know this shit. So I would tell them before I figured it out, said, you know, when I call, I was like, when I call, you're supposed to answer the phone, because I am the most important person that you're going to get a call from, that you need to answer. If you don't answer, nobody else. You don't want to be bothered. You're busy. You don't feel like talking. I don't give a fuck. Why am I the most important person? Well, because I'm me. That's why. And number 2, I'm paying the bill. If I'm paying the bill, there's nobody more important than me about answering this phone. You know, the couple that I told that, they couldn't seem to wrap their head around that. These bitches couldn't seem to wrap their head around that the person that's paying the bill, you don't want to route to voicemail. You don't want to ignore their call. You don't want to block them. You know, feminism and all. One bitch told me that's abusive. I said, I'm paying the bill and it's abusive to say you better answer the phone when I call instead of blocking me because you don't know if it's something important or an emergency. That's abusive. Oh, shit. Okay, feminism. Whoa. Okay. So, you know, if you ever hear that, you turn the fucking service off. If they do that to you, turn the service off if you're already paying for the bill. You find out they're blocking your number, don't answer the call, or you just keep calling, and many times when outside you don't get an answer. Don't even warn them that you're going to do it. Just call the phone company and report the phone as not stolen, because they'll shut it down permanently. Report the IMEI number. Report the IMEI number on the phone, the serial number. You report it as lost. Not stolen, report as lost. They'll turn it off temporarily, and you can leave it like that as long as you want to. And so the phone will become useless to them unless they find somewhere where they can get Wi-Fi. But as far as outside with mobile internet and phone calls, it'll be finished until you decide to turn it back on once it's back in your possession. And if they don't want to ever return it, just call them and report it stolen and shut it off for good. Just a warning, like this is why. Not to mention a lot of these young girls, especially, they use the fucking phones for porn, man, and to order sex toys on their parents' credit cards, man, and a lot of other bullshit, or talking bad about their parents or about their guardian that's paying for the phone, but then they don't want you to know that. And another thing is, don't ever tolerate that they want to have a password on their phone. Talking about they want their privacy. When they live in your care and when you're paying the bills and you bought them that phone, there is no privacy. They don't like that. They can hit the fucking bricks. It's just as simple as that. So, but it's best not to pay for their phones, period. And I gave you reasons why. They cannot be trusted. And who wants to pay? Why would you want to pay for them to do dirt and do fucked up dysfunctional shit on their phone and betray you if they're like your significant other as well? Why would you want to finance that? So that's just a thought to put in your head. Thanks for listening. And I just had to bring this back for a second because I was thinking about when I said, if you come to like someone that you have, like a young girl that's living with you or that's in your care, or your daughter, and some of them you would say, well, you need to answer the phone when I call because I'm paying the bill, or else I could just go ahead and shut the phone off. And they're like, And one of them was like, oh, that's abusive. I'm like, you don't have no fucking idea what the fuck abuse is. You've been programmed by this garbage ass social media and stupid laws and stuff to tell you that a man putting his foot down and telling you that you have to do something when he's providing, you know, everything that you have, or a roof over your head and your cell phone, that you have to answer the call when he calls because he's that important, because you should. That's abusive. That's hilarious. No, abusive is taking a fucking leather belt to your fucking ass and beating the shit out of you until you can't fucking sit down. For sitting up there blocking somebody's calls or not answering the phone on the phone they're paying for and got nerve to sit up there and try to mouth off to them when they bring it to you. That's abuse. Whipping your fucking ass till you can't sit the fuck down. That's abuse. That's abuse right there. That's different. As a matter of fact, that's not even abuse. Back then, shit, you come out your mouth like that to your parents and see that you wasn't on the other side of the fucking room by the time you woke up. The kids going on. This is the problem, man. That these laws and these stupid ass fucking agencies and the shit they program with on the social media and their dumb ass mothers that don't want to help enforce discipline put in their mind that talking to them a certain way is abuse. Meanwhile, when I was younger, somebody would knock the shit out of you. You talk to them like that and talk about what you're not going to do and, laughing about blocking somebody to paying the bill. Which is exactly what these fucking kids need, these fucking bastards. They need exactly that nowadays. Maybe they wouldn't behave like that. And yeah, I said it. I sure did. I stand behind what the fuck I said, too.